Hello and welcome to another short episode for Navigating Learning Creatively NLC at Home. So today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the addition and subtraction strip boards. These would be found in a traditional Montessori classroom as part of the fact strand for addition and subtraction. Um, so the way this works is we would have our 9 here, our 8 here, um, and combined that would be 17. So pretty basic material. The cost for a non premium type of board for each, including all of the strips, um, which the subtraction board would have the base strips like this, plus these little menu end strips that block off part of the top so that we can focus on decomposing that menu end. So we would have 11 minus 5, 11 minus 6, etc., going down on that board with our colored strips. So again, about $60 in all plus shipping would get this in your classroom at home. But I'm here to argue that you don't actually need this for your home classroom. And here's why. So let me put this to the side for a second. And we're going to instead look at a different kind of material. So we're going to start with a plain grid. This is like a grid dry erase. It's double-sided. I use this a lot whenever I'm working with students online. You can buy them individually or in like a set of 5. I use them all the time. They're wonderful. So we start with this. I've written on the top the same numbers that we had there on our addition strip board. Now, what are we going to use with this? We're going to use cuisenaire rods. So cuisenaire rods have been around for a long, long time. I was first introduced to them when I was in my undergraduate math methods class in the early 1990s. Yeah, that feels a long time ago right now. So with this, we have centimeter rods from 1 through 10 in these various colors. I like to print out a little cheat sheet since they are not in the traditional Montessori colors, which are kind of second nature. I like to keep this printed out, especially if I'm using it with kids that have been using more Montessori materials. Some of the colors are about the same, like this is kind of a golden color. The 9 is dark blue, just like in the color beads. The brown is 8, but that's pretty much where the similarities end. So all the other colors are going to be unfamiliar to a traditional Montessori kid. But we will work with this in the same way. So we can say 9 plus 7, and then right above you can see I've got my 16. Sorry, my camera's not quite in the right spot to show that easily, but 16 right there. Now you can write the numbers like that, or you can do this. So I can have my 9 plus my 7, and I can go ahead and create that 10 on the top, and it's still going to reinforce that same thing that we talked about a while ago, that we have one space there to create the 10. And so really I just need to think about 7 minus 1, which would be a 6. So I can grab my 6 and place it right there. And so I know that 10 plus 6 is 16, and so my answer is 16. The nice thing about using the board like this too, and that it's dry erase, you can come right over here and go 9 plus 7 equals 16. And you can continue in that method all the way down, many problems as you'd like. From the flip side of that, we can do subtraction as well. So for subtraction, I usually don't have them write this above. We'll start with the problem with, let's say, 13 minus 5. So we will build 13. So I've got a 10 plus a 3 will give us a 13. Okay. And then we're going to take away 5. So I'm going to put that 5 right below it. Now often when kids are starting work with this, they will count it. They will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we check it by putting our 8 right in there. And voila. As they go along farther, they might start to notice, okay, well, that's 3. So I could just say, oh, wait, I know that that's going to be 5 because 5 plus 5 is 10. So 5 plus 3 is 8. And we come to the same spot. So it gives a lot of flexibility in how they can use it. So there you go, cuisenaire rods. Cuisenaire rods for one basic set. You can usually find them at a teacher store for around $10. Online, if you want to get a little bit of a bigger set, it might be closer to $20. But not too bad. You can a lot of times too find them yard sales or flea markets if you're really lucky, in a big bag for really cheap. So now, these are not in the traditional Montessori colors, as I mentioned before. If you want something that is exactly the same, but in the same colors that would match your colored beads, you can get something like this. The inexpensive set of the colored bars, the Montessori colored bars, is around $90. So it's more expensive than the strip board, but you can use it for a lot more things, and you will have 20 of each color. Whereas in the cuisenaire rods, generally speaking, you'll have more of the smaller quantities and less of your larger sticks. And that's because one of the things you can use this for is for fractions as well in a traditional school. And so they want to have the ability to chop it up into smaller and smaller pieces. And so you generally have a whole lot more of those. But this is more evenly distributed, and you can use it for many different things, including working with bases when you get into upper elementary. You can use it as an option to work with once they are almost done with multiplication and they still need some continued work, but they don't need to count each individual bead. You can switch to this, and it's kind of nice because they won't roll around. You can also use it with the decimal fraction board instead of using this, which also gives you the ability to buy the cloth decimal fraction board without any of these. So again, you can save a little bit of money there as well. So there you have it, what I use instead of the strip board. Cuisenaire rods, get them, or get the Montessori version, but they will definitely add to your hands-on addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Let's see, I've used them for many things, and even fractions. So perfect complement to your Montessori classroom, even though it's not a traditional material.